of the lies? Tired of the spin? Are you ready to hear the hard-hitting truth in a comprehensive, conservative, and principled fashion? Point Blank on Super FM 93.3 brings you all the news you need to know. Real conversations, real news, and one-on-one interviews with some of the most intriguing names in River State, South Nigeria, and the country today. Unbiased analysis the way you wish still existed.
They're damaging the economy of the country. I'm not bothered about whether federal government is supporting us or not. Because if you cannot protect the lives of your people, then there's no governance.
From the news that dominates the headlines to the important topics below the fold, left, right, and center busts the opinion bubbles and echo chambers with genuine discussion and real talk.
Out of $500 million that President Goodluck Jonathan borrowed for Abuja Kaduna, at the time I was speaking, we were paid over 100 and something million out of the $500 million.
Tune into Point Blank with Shegun Awolabi every Saturdays 8:15 a.m. on Super 93.3 FM. Point Blank, civilized yet provocative.
Hello and good morning to you. You're tuned to Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt, and this is Saturday. Welcome to Point Blank. Point Blank is a news and current affairs program. On Point Blank, we look at all the issues. We'll bring you all the issues. We bring you all sides to all of these issues, from human rights issues to deep news issues to issues affecting everyone on the streets. And of course, I'm the host, Shegun Awolabi, and every Saturday I bring those who matter to the studio, and we'll look at all these issues, dissecting them, and also getting your input into all of them. And thank you for joining us this Saturday. Now, this Saturday's edition is a very big one. From 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock, we'll be entertaining the former Nigerian ambassador to the Netherlands, His Excellency Ambassador Orji Ngofa. Ambassador Orji Ngofa will be in the studio. We'll be having a one-on-one talk on issues of politics, developments, and of course, particularly on his ambition to be the senator for Rivers South Senatorial District. And that will take place from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock on Point Blank on this dial Super FM with Ambassador Orji Ngofa. But right now, we'll be kicking off the show with something which is a bit disturbing. And this is the situation in Kana local government area, where we gather that the security is gradually becoming porous. Now, just recently, the chairman of Kana local government area announced the suspension of all chieftaincy activities in the area. There are also allegations that some traditional rulers are involved in court-related activities. And also in Kana local government area, a couple of days ago, we've recorded a series of killings. And don't forget, Kana has been in the news for quite some time on issues relating to killings. So the question is, what is happening in Kana local government area, particularly to have warranted the chairman of Kana local government area to have announced the suspension of all chieftaincy activities in Kana local government? We don't have the chairman of Kana local government area in the studio, but definitely he will come to the studio because we have already invited him. But this morning, we have someone who has the capacity and who is also quite cerebral to speak on this issue as it relates to the security situation in Kana local government area. He is the acting chairman, Area Council of Traditional Rulers in Kana local government area, is the Menebo Abaga, and he is a spokesman for the Supreme Council of Ogoni Traditional Rulers. I also know that he was a member of the Central Representative Advisory Committee, CRAC of High Prep. He is a conflict resolution expert, and of course, as a professional conflict resolution expert, he will be speaking to us on all of these issues. So this morning, I have in the studio a traditional ruler, is Mene Swanu Baridam. And good morning to you, Your Highness. Thank you so much for joining us on Point Blank.
Thank you so much, my brother Shegun Awolabi.
So Mene Swanu Baridam and I will be looking at the security situation in Kana local government area. Why are we having what we are having? What should be done, particularly when traditional rulers are alleged to involve in the compromise of security in their domain. And this is very, very critical. Now, again, this is an audience participatory radio program, which means you can join us, participate, and contribute to all of the discussions on this radio at this time from now to 10 a.m. And of course, we'll be starting with the insecurity in Kana local government area. For those who would love to call in to participate live, the number to call is 0705 079 1021. I repeat that again. To call in live and participate in the show, the number to call is 070 5079 1021. You can as well call us on 081 174 31021. That is 081 174 31021. Now, you want to send us a short voice note on our WhatsApp number, or you want to send us a short SMS. Now, send a short WhatsApp voice, not more than 45 seconds, to this number 0905 9481 Again, a short WhatsApp voice to this number 09059481021. And as well, you can send us text message. And if you're online, you're on Facebook, you want to watch what is going on live in the studio, follow us on Facebook at Super FM PH, on Instagram at Super FM 93.3, as well as on YouTube at Super FM PH. Now, we're streaming live on all of those channels we've just read out to you. So once again, this is Point Blank. Security situation in Kana local government area. It's so curious that the local government chairman has announced suspension of all chieftaincy activities in Kana local government area, and allegations that traditional rulers are involved in compromising the security in Kana. So my guest, a royal blood and also traditional ruler in Kana local government area. Your Highness, once again, thank you so much for joining us. Let us begin with the announcements by the chairman of Kana suspending chieftaincy activities in Kana, and by extension, your domain.
Well, I think, Shegun, thank you so much to have me in the studio. First of all, let me remove the word. There's a particular word you use.
Okay.
That the security situation in Kana is becoming more than a suspected.
More compromised.
Let me use the word. First of all, I'm not speaking on behalf of Kana local government chairman.
Definitely,
I'm
you're
not
not.
the spokesperson of the Kana local government chairman, so I will not speak on behalf of the Kana local government. But I'm going to talk as an interesting party.
And of course, as a traditional ruler, and in your Kana.
Yes, and I'm also a chairman, acting chairman of the area council of traditional ruler. And so I will speak on that. And let me also say something very clear. In 2015, from 2015, we've had some issue of security in Kana local government as a people. And that 2015, the crisis or security situation was not just only basically in Kana. It was entire the issue of River State. And then 2019, 2020, we have some security issues. And the last administration of the local government, led by Honorable Latelolo, the security situation became worse. And somehow, until when Dr. Barry Thomas came into power about a year ago, and we begin to look at the situation we have and begin to proffer solutions to some of the issues. And either we like it or not, the situation in Kana has actually reduced. In fact, I can say...
When you say it has reduced, are you saying security has improved than what it used to
yes,
be?
it has improved. The situation has improved because at least for now, people can at least sleep in Buri, where people were not staying before. A lot of people have packed out of Buri before the coming of Barry Thompson. I mean, Barry what?
Barry Thomas. Dr. Barry Thomas.
Thomas. So the situation now has improved very seriously. And so I cannot say it has deteriorating to a situation we were before he came in. No, there's an improvement, and we're constantly fighting for it. However, as a society, you don't expect that there's not going to be some skirmishes of insecurity, because we live as human beings, and definitely one way or the other, there's going to be some flop on the security, maybe through the dispute within the family, outside the family, and social club and the rest. And so we can always expect some situation that is not very okay with individual. So I can say the security in Canada has improved. And what you saw a few days ago is also to tell you that the local government chairman and indeed the security operative within Canada, they are doing very well, because immediately it happened, they were able to get hold of the people that got involved into issue of insecurity, and they were arrested. One of them escaped. So I can say the security in Canada has improved greatly.
Well, definitely, Your Highness, we also appreciate the quick response of the local government chairman to issues relating to security. I'm aware that the one that happened just a couple of days ago, he was right there on the spot. But again, we're concerned when the chairman begins to announce the suspension of all chieftaincy activities. And that's the reason why we deemed it fit to bring you to the studio, because you are a traditional ruler and a very prominent one in Kana local government area. So that means that somehow chieftaincy activities is contributing to subverting the security in Kana local government. Don't you think so?
Yes, I think the answer is going to be yes and no. Yes is the fact that many of the crises of the chieftaincy, especially when it has to do with paramount rulers, in some of the communities they have one or two paramount rulers, and in that case, definitely some boys is going to belong to one group or the other, and that can also pose the issue of insecurity. However, it's on record that some of us who are traditional rulers, paramount rulers, has compromised their stand on issue of security. And when I say compromise, in that, one, you know the paramount rulers doesn't have, they are not paying this paramount ruler. Of course, I hope you know that.
Yeah, definitely.
And except some of us who are paramount rulers, and at the same time we are recognized traditional rulers and royal highnesses, those are the ones that are paid. And so you now see that the paramount rulers is the one who are the end receiving out of this insecurity situation. So at that point, many of them, I am not supporting that anyway. I'm not supporting that anyway. That some of them have to, because of fear, compromise their stand in order to stay in their community. And that alone has actually caused a lot of this issue of insecurity, whereby a lot of them have been accused. And yes, of course, I know that many of them get involved into the issue of courtism, either they well or they bad. But this is unfortunate. But when it has to do with the disbandment of the installation of paramount ruler within Kana, and that announcement was done in Yonkana. Let me take a look at this. In Sogo, there has been a situation where security situation there was something at the peak of it, and somehow it has they've settled the problem there. But we find out that the issue of one paramount ruler within the area can cause trouble there. Then if you go down to Taba, the Royal Highness of Taba, there's a paramount ruler that is also having problem there for installation. And so looking at all this, if you allow it to continue, one group may decide to belong to one other core group, or the other one will now decide to belong to other core group. And in that case, it's going to cause a lot of problem to us. And so at the meeting that we had in Yonkana, I think the chairman decided to listen, after listening to the entire situation, he decided to say, okay, the best option is for him to place embargo on the issue of installation. So it was not something that the chairman just stand up and decide to do that. No, it was because based on what the reasoning of the people that were the stakeholders that was in that Yonkana meeting. So that is the situation.
And talking about that Yonkana meeting, I also recall that one of the resolution of the Yonkana meeting was the need for you to work with the divisional police officer and with the local government chairman in restoring peace to Yonkana and particularly Taba. Again, this is a source of concern because you are a paramount ruler, particularly in Yonkana community. And that is supposed to be one area that by now we should have achieved a level of peace. So again, what is responsible to the extent that the stakeholders would have to resolve that we must work together with the divisional police officer and the chairman for a lasting peace there? What's going on?
Well, you see, if you look at the entire of Kana, Kana is one of the biggest in terms of population. And so you don't expect that the DPO in Bori will be able to cover the entire of Kana based on the largeness of the area. And so the division police in Taba, his duty was to actually take care of the Taba, the entire of Nyokana. But we find out that he has some issue, like have to
What
do
are
with
these
that.
issues?
The issues is that he doesn't have what to work with. One of those things is the issue of vehicle.
Okay.
And so in that meeting, we now resolve and appeal to the chairman that the division in Taba need a working vehicle.
Okay.
Because there's no way you will place a man of that. And for your information, the man that is in Taba's rank is more than the rank of the DPO in Bori. This rank is so we needed a vehicle for him so that he can work to ensure that to avert some of the issue of the insecurity in Yokana. And for your information, and I'm not trying to say this here because to bring down our people. No, the insecurity that we have in Yokana now is a bit higher than the one that we witness in Babe and Kenkana. And the reason is that they've taken care of the situation in the whole of that place. And all of them now, some of them now moved down to Yokana to stay there. For instance, in Sogo, we have settled that problem there. And so we are going from one community to another to ensure that the same thing that were done in Sogo is replicated in some of the other communities. However, we have also noticed that some of the other communities that we have peace, so to say now, boys who are in that community still leave that community to go to another community to commit crime and then go back to their community. So we looked at all these things in that our discussion, and we decided to now profile solution to it, which we now discuss with the local government chairman.
Your Highness, we'll be talking more on this line. For those just joining us, you're listening to Point Blank, coming to you from Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. It's a two-part program. On the second leg of the program, from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, we'll be having former Nigerian ambassador to the Netherlands, His Excellency Ambassador Ojingofa, join us. But right now, we're looking at security situation in Yokana, in Kana local government area. It is a very serious situation. In the last couple of days, there have been series of occurrences in that particular area, and that warranted the announcement by the chairman of Kana local government area suspending all chieftaincy activities in the local government. And in the studio with us this morning, we have the spokesperson of the Supreme Council of Ogoni traditional ruler, who himself is also a conflict resolution expert, His Royal Highness Swanu Baradam, joining us, discussing all of these issues and looking at ways of arriving at solution. Once again, thank you so much, Your Royal Highness.
Yeah, but let me correct one expression.
Okay.
I was a former spokesperson.
Oh, former
of the Supreme
spokesperson.
Council of,
Very good.
Now my friend Israel is now the PRO
The
and
PRO.
deal with
Okay.
the issue of the former spokesperson.
Okay, so the former spokesperson of Supreme Council of Ogoni Traditional Ruler joining us in the studio right now. I'll be looking at all of this. So we'll come to the telephone line. But just before we come to the telephone line, there's something of a big concern, which we also think perhaps is responsible for the current situation in Kana, security situation, and of course in your Kana Kingdom. It is the issue concerning King WZP Nzide. You know about it, and this particular king has been missing for 2 years. Nobody knows his whereabouts. Of course, it's a big issue. The River State government is aware of it. The security agencies are aware of it. It's a big family issue. But again, suddenly, one of the sons declared himself as the paramount ruler. That's a very big concern.
Well,
Could this also be responsible for some of this? Am I correct, even in my facts?
I think that is not correct, and
Okay.
I will not want to talk about that. The reason that I won't want to talk about that, the matter of such nature cannot be discussed on a public discussion of this. You're talking about a majesty, a king.
But we're also
Of the
looking at
entire-
it in line with the security situation in your domain.
Well, we cannot talk about it, Shegun. I'm sorry. We can't discuss that here.
All right, fantastic. Since you've apologized on that you cannot discuss. But again, when we begin to talk about involvement of traditional rulers in court-related activities, you mentioned that, and you said perhaps it is because many of these traditional rulers don't have a source of revenue for themselves. We also know that you personally, as a profession, you are a conflict resolution expert. So begin to talk to us. So these traditional rulers, are they directly involved in sponsoring these court groups?
In the first place, when you say sponsor, you can talk about sponsor when you have what to do, or you have
Not necessarily financially
I'm
sponsoring,
I'm coming. When they say sponsor,
yes.
you can say part of it. And
Okay.
and yes, because the only way I can say they are part of it is that they provide a situation where the courts, both the Daywell and Daybam, stay. Okay, because now let's take a look at my community. Let's go back to Banga. Let me take that as let's take that from Banga.
Okay.
In Banga, I am from Banga, and precisely I am from Lumane Banga. But you see, in 2020, the first court activities that happened there was the people that went to the former local government chairman house and Bond house. Mm-hmm. And when they were passing through Banga, they passed through Lumene, which is my own community, and burned down my own house and killed 2 persons. That was the beginning of courts in Banga. That was done by, I think that was Daybam people. Mm-hmm. And after that, the Daywell came back to kill another of them, which I don't always want to get involved into when they are killing themselves. Mm-hmm. Where I get involved, or I get myself involved, is where the innocent people are killed. Mm-hmm. If not, I'm telling you the truth, if the killing is only for themselves, kill Daywell today, they come back and kill Daybam tomorrow, it only creates a lot of form of a situation in the community. However, because you see where there is a gunshot today, gunshot tomorrow, a lot of people, the people, in fact, they cannot rest. People will not rest. If not, left with me alone, I'm telling you, Shegun, I will ask them to kill themselves until when they kill themselves and the last man standing, and we'll know what to do with that person. So,
but again, you're a traditional.
No.
I
said I would have.
Okay.
But because of my position, I will not allow that to happen.
All right.
And so we begin to do some form of arrest. And what I've also found out, Shegun, is that many of the traditional rulers where they said, oh, this person belonged to Daywell or this person belonged to Daybam. Once you get so hard on one of the parties, for instance, Daywell, the Daybam will tell you that, oh, you are supporting Daywell. When you become very, very hard on the people of Daywell, the Daybam people will say, oh, you are now supporting Daywell. That is understood. But however, we have also found out that there are traditional rulers who actually, because of nothing, in fact, for just no cause, decide to now belong to one of the group, either by a level of protecting them or fear. I don't actually know. And that is why we are doing our investigation very seriously. Okay. And any of those ones, especially when you talk about the issue of bank, any of those ones who are now involved into this courtesan, definitely we're going to suspend that one and we're going to dethrone you. That's the truth about it. But one thing we have also found out that has been the major cause, the major problem where even when you arrest people, the people, the parents or the family of the person that was killed, maybe you arrest them and now taking them to court. They will refuse to come and give statement in the court because of fear. I don't know. Take for instance, I'm sorry, I will have to mention some name here. Within that 2001, 2002, 2003, they killed one Swan Wibere in Lumene Banga. We called his brother to come to court, to come to the police and give statements. He refused to give statement today. That matter was in courts, and you understand, we arrested some people for it. And I only give statement for the fact that happened in my community. But the people that will give statement are the people who have the kid from their family. But many of them will not go. We called the wife of one other one that was killed to come and give statements. And the police came and arrested some people. Come and give statements so that we can prosecute the people. You will not see them. And at that point, they are creating a situation where you cannot do anything. Because the court cannot do anything when somebody refused to give statement on a particular courtist that was arrested. So that has been one of the major problems that we're having. For now, we have a lot of them that are already, for instance, the paramount ruler of John Bonobang was killed. Shegun, do you believe that up to now, no member of that community, apart from his immediate brothers and sisters, has come to give statement? And they have leadership. They have politicians in that family. In that community. At that point, how are you going to do it? But we have decided to prosecute any person that was arrested in connection to that, that paramount ruler's killing. We are going to, because the brothers and the sister come out to give statement. Okay, but many of the other ones, you get them arrested today, you call their parent tomorrow to come and give statement. They will not come and give statement. Yeah. And so when they stay there about 3 years, they release them. And so you don't blame the police for that.
Yeah.
However, the police have their own to be blamed, because especially in Bori, I've said it time with that number, that many of the people, the police people who are living in Bori, they are not supposed to be there again. Because they have compromised in fact, they have overstayed their usefulness.
Your Highness, we will talk a little bit more about that, particularly on the allegation that many of the police officers in Bori are now compromised. We will look a little bit more at that. And again, we'll be looking at how all of this is affecting the ongoing voters registration exercise in Yokana Kingdom. Because we know that there has been a very low turnout, and that has even warranted the stakeholders to call for an extraordinary meeting to look at how to build trust amongst the people. We'll look at that. You're tuned to Point Blank, coming to you from Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt, and we're speaking to His Royal Highness Swanu Barrett. I'm looking at the security situation in Yokana Kingdom and the entire Kana local government area. Of course, he's not speaking for the local government chairman, but he is speaking as a traditional ruler who holds a responsibility to the people of his domain. Now, we'll go to the telephone lines and we'll take the first 3 calls in the first instance. And the numbers to call 0705-079-1021 and 081-174-31021. And of course, we would entertain people sending us voice notes. Send all your voice notes to 090-5948-1021. And please ensure that it is not more than 45 seconds. And also, you can send text message to the same number, 090-5948-1021. And if you're on Facebook, join us on Facebook. Send us your comment. We'll give so much attention to comments coming in on the social media. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Let's take the first call. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Super FM.
Good morning, Shego.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, yes, my name is Akanto. I'm calling from
Akanto, thank you so much for joining us.
His Royal Highness. Well, and Shego, this Bonnie is particularly important, and I've been sitting and
Akanto, I'm sorry. Akanto, I apologize. Akanto, your line is very bad. Maybe you just need to move away a little bit. Okay, very well.
It's about life and insecurity in Canada. Yes, because let me thank the chairman of Canada Thomas for finding time to stay in Bori. I think he lives in Bori and he stays in Bori. And he's not a defender of his administration. I think he stays in chairman's lodge and is visible to every all and assembly in the Canada local government area. But the issue of insecurity that is preserving Canada now, I think it is not all part of Canada local government area. It is in York where the Royal Highness came from. And again, let me point it out that it is because leadership failure, particularly in Yokana Kingdom, wherein the leadership there are afraid to tackle this boy. Let me point it here, Shego. I have told them time with our numbers that we should adopt Chief Gani Toba's model in tackling this in particular in Yokana.
Okay.
Shego, hardly for you to hear insecurity again in Babe Kingdom or in Kekana Kingdom. But what we are hearing now and then, it is in Yokana. Except the leadership of Yokana Kingdom come and ensure that these boys should be apprehended without any fear or favor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Akanto.
The Royal Highness have that capacity. He who is in the field have that capacity to call the leadership of Yokana Kingdom together to ensure that these boys should be apprehended. Only be apprehended, they should ensure that the security issue should be dealt with critically in Yokana Kingdom.
Thank you so much, Akanto.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you. So again, let's just take this one. Hello, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. Point Blank Saturday.
Shego, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is J.A.J. and I'm calling you from Port Harcourt right now.
Thank you so much for joining us, JJ.
I agree with the Royal Highness in the studio. Good morning, sir. You see, people say that the child that the father sent to steal will use his leg to pull down the door. They also say that if the wind can carry stone, what will it not do to ordinary paper? The Royal Highness is blaming some people for not coming forward to make statements, and when the case gets to court, they don't come to testify. You see, according to India, he said you have freedom of speech, but it cannot guarantee your freedom after speech. This has happened over and over again. I remember a case in LMA where somebody was killed. The sister was saying that they must find justice, and before you know it, the sister was also gunned down. That is why our people will always say that a child that is not old enough to hold the head of cutlass may not have the type of death that killed the father. So I think that's what they are trying to avoid right now, because their freedom after the statement, their freedom after the testimony may be very, very not guaranteed. So I think they are trying to pull away from there. But our people also say, Shego, you know this one, that the insect that is eating the kola nut is always inside the kola nut. So I think the Royal Highnesses check themselves. So they give backup. They use them as bragging. They even call some of them even settle community issues, wife issues, food together. What are you doing about it? Anthony, that was a no-go area before. Jubilating, doing everything, and there's what they call peer review mechanism. What is it that these people are doing well that I don't do well? You take it, apply it. By the time they deploy army to that area, you people at the front.
Well, JJ, I'm sorry, your line is muffled. Oh, thank you so much. Well, thank you so much. I think JJ has made his point quite hilarious, but again, point made. Let's take one more before we come back to the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Shego Olabi.
And thank you so much for joining us. This is Point Blank.
Permit me to greet His Royal Highness Dr. Swano Baridam in Ogonilawe, Dera Chief. My name is Royal Chief Ambassador Magnus Edo, and I'm calling you from our community.
Thank you so much.
I am a chief, and I so much respect the Royal Highness in the studio for pointing out one thing this morning. He has said it before, and he kept saying it, that some police people in Bori that have overstayed, they should be redeployed and bring new fresh police officers that can work directly with the traditional institutions. Mr. Shegu, let me give you an instance. I arrested somebody from Kwawa community. Is in police custody. Just like the Highness was narrating, looking for those that will stand as witness. This guy broke into somebody's house, and the youth of Kwawa caught him right-handed. I called the police. They switched into action, arrested this boy. Do you believe, Shegu, those that their property were stolen, they find it very much difficult to come and testify in the court. Even when we have provided transportations for them, it becomes an issue. So it is a matter of the people that experiences insecurity. They should all work with the traditional institution. They will be protected.
Okay.
Nobody should be feared that after testifying for the truth, that you will still die. Even though when you don't testify, you don't know who is the next person. So it is the right time our people should see the traditional institution, most of our politicians. Sometimes they are not helping matter.
Okay.
Because they come from our communities. They say, oh, it's the chief. It's the chief. The chief, are we receiving allocations? Are we receiving security votes?
All right, Chief Magnus Edo, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Magnus Edo, thank you so much. I quite appreciate you joining us. Now, let me come back to His Royal Highness Swano Baridam. Again, leadership, failure of leadership. And that's what I can't always say. That, look, the leaders in Yokana have failed the people. And that leads us to the issue of trust between the people and the leader, particularly the traditional institution.
Well, Shegun, I think that is not very correct, so to say. Let me start from Akanto. Akanto said the Kankana and Babi people have done something. They should use a Ghana model.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to ask him what the Ghana model was, but let's go ahead.
Yes, I don't know the Ghana model he's talking about, but you know, people of Yonkan are very intelligent people. They're very, very class people. And we do things based on the law. We look at the law before we do anything. However, we've been some time now, we've not been having meeting in Yonkan. And because of one reason or the other. And it's good to start, anytime you wake up in the morning, it's your morning. If you wake up by 2 a.m. and that is the time you wake up, it's your morning. If you wake up by 2 p.m. and that is your morning.
It's a good morning.
Yes, so the young kind of people has woken up, even if there's been some let's say, some laissez-faire attitude in terms of security. But we have leadership. Any person, nobody can say we don't have leadership in Yonkana. That is a place that you have a king, His Majesty WZ today. So you can't say there's no leadership in a place. That is a place we have over 5 or 7 professors. So you can't say there is no leadership. That is a place we have a former senator. That is a place we have a House of Representatives.
But you see, Your Highness, it's obvious that there is a conflict now.
I'm coming.
And you are a conflict resolution expert, and this is where your expertise is needed right now.
That is what I'm coming for.
Yes.
So you cannot tell me that there is no leadership in Yonkana. No, that is not true.
But again, when there is conflict, the people lost trust in the leadership.
Which of the conflict are you talking about?
Again, you've alluded to the fact that even some traditional rulers have compromised the security.
That is what we're saying. That is the locals.
Okay.
Let me throw a card for you.
Please.
I was in my palace when the security become much in Yonkana. In Kana. I called a meeting, and I told my friend, I'm going to do something in this place so that I will know either our discussion in our meeting is okay, and they can keep it. And I told them, because of the insecurity in the whole of Banga, I think I've decided to order AK-47. No, I'm telling you, this was real. It was
but of course, you did not order.
No, I didn't order. I told my friend.
You just said so.
I went with some of the very close person. I said, I'm going to do something in this meeting first.
Okay.
And after about 1 week, if that information did not come out, it means we can hold this meeting again. So I came there, I said, don't worry, you guys. I think there have been some problem in this place. In fact, I've ordered AK-47. I'm going to bring them. In fact, they are on their way. They are going to bring it. And then I closed the meeting and I left. 2 hours later, 2 hours, Shegun, 2 hours later, somebody in another community called and said, Isane, I hear say you don't buy AK-47.
So how did the information travel?
So I'm just coming to it. So the following day, I called for another meeting. I said, let's come back again. Let's have the meeting. And I told them, all of you that, I all belong to one court or another. That is to tell you that discussion of issues that have to do with security have nothing to do with calling a bigger bogus meeting. And then you throw everything about the issue of discussion about this security there. We are doing what we're supposed to do in Yonkana. The leadership of Yonkana, which I've mentioned to you, we are meeting every day, and we are going to ensure that everything that have to do with insecurity in Yonkana is tackled. Well, again, but we have to go down to the community, like what we said. Because if in your community, as a paramount ruler, you've not been able to control the people that are there is no way a policeman who is coming from Bori, a DPO that is coming from Bori or coming from Tama, will know where a court is stay in each of the community. And that is why I said each of the paramount ruler or leadership of all the community must take it as a point of duty to ensure that everybody's hand is on deck when they have to do with security.
Again, you're correct there, and of course, security is everyone's business. But again, that is when the people are themselves sincere. Because I have a message here coming from Sam Clef Agab. Sam Clef Agba said, "Good morning, Mr. Presenter. Sir. Ogoni will swing away from insecurity when they are sincerely ready to face reality," and talking about the sincerity themselves. And another one here from Melubari Digbo says, "Good morning, Shegun. When my king, His Royal Highness Dr. Swano Baranda, says some policemen have overstayed in Bori, I personally agree with him to some extent. That man has been staying this for several occasions, and now I see reasons with him. Remain lifted for standing by the truth without bias, my king." But again, there are people who are compromising these police officers. If you don't have bias, you can have sellers.
Shegun, I've told you something when we came to this place.
Yes.
I said some of this paramount ruler doesn't have conscience.
So again, these paramount rulers who don't have conscience, you are asking them to be responsible for security. Don't you think you need to purge those communities off these paramount rulers first?
That is where we are coming to. And you have to understand, paramount ruler is not as Royal Highness.
Okay.
Paramount ruler is something that comes from a family.
True.
And some of them are completely hereditary.
Well, they could be sued.
Yes.
And they could be removed by the laws of the land.
What we are doing is to carefully look out for these very ones that we know that is involved into this courtesan and pick them out one after another. We are doing that. But as I said, I will not sit down in this place and tell you exactly what are the criteria that we are going to use to ensure that this thing is cop. I'm not going to do that because security are not discussed
but Your
on
Highness,
the public discourse. What we are trying to say is to let them understand that in the next few days or in the next few months, we are going to go after any person who we have perceived or we have known, investigate and find out that they are involved into the issue of courtism. We also have a situation, as I said, where the paramount ruler is dealing with a particular court group. For instance, maybe he's dealing with a Daywell. What you will hear in that community is that, oh, that paramount ruler is in Debang. That is why he's dealing with them. We understand that. They have said that to me before. They have called me sort of name before. They have told me, oh, I've gone to swear oath with this person. But that does not disturb me. That does not worry me. Because I know where I'm going to. I have been on them, and I will continue to be on them. The community have said, oh, please slow down. Let us talk with them. Let us, give them oath. You can give them oath. I'm a traditional ruler. I believe in tradition. But when it has to, you cannot kill somebody. Shegun, you cannot kill somebody. And then the family is crying. Okay. And then you turn around that I should go and give you oath that you are not going to kill another person. How will I know that you are going to kill? And then when the police come to look for you, then I'm going to come. No, I will not do that. If you are involved into any killing, a few days ago, Shegun, a boy went to my community and stole a armor cable, and they were arrested.
And of course, that's responsible for the absence of electricity.
They were arrested by the police, and we took them to the police station, including the machine that was used. But do you know what? A politician went to the DPO and want to ask them to release the machine because the person that have the machine is close to him. And our investigation shows that the person who have the machine is also part of the gang that have been stealing. That is the machine they've been using for courtesim in Banga. So in this case, you are going to blame the paramount ruler again? How about the politicians who are helping this boy? Sheku, let me tell you, the time of this present election, there were people that were chased out of the community in Banga. But during the time of the election, when they were coming to do a flag up in Banga, those boys were the boys that came with the politician in Banga. Are you hearing me? So in that case, what are you going to do? A few days ago, a boy was arrested from Lumene. He stays with a politician. Okay. And he's part of the, what they call it, the kidnap gang that was going on. And it has just been picked up. You know, Your Highness, this is a problem that we have. So when we are talking about the issue of the paramount, you also talk about some other stakeholders, like the politician.
So the question is, how do we resolve this? And we're going to be taking contribution now. Those calling us will need solution and not necessarily complain. And you know, Your Highness, more disturbing is the fact that low registration is taking place in Yokana. Many people are afraid of registering at the ongoing voters. I recall that you were in this studio 2 days ago appealing to your people, go and register. Your Highness, you have a big problem.
Shegun, you see,
sorry, I'm laughing.
Sorry. First of all, you have to understand that we are passing through leadership time.
Okay.
You know, the young is going to take over leadership.
Okay.
And the old men are also facing out based on age and deaths. And so you have to know that I am faced with this problem.
Okay.
He said the person who wears shoes, I know where they think they pay now. I am from Nyokana, and I'm from Kana. And when you talk about the issue of INEC, for instance, in Kana, let's talk about Kana registration of this voter registration. Kana was behind Obiakbo and Port Harcourt local government. They were the third in terms of voters numbers.
And sorry to call you, Yokana is one of the biggest districts in that area.
I'm coming to that.
Yeah.
And so in now, why are the reasons why people are not coming for registration? One of such reasons is that some people are not willing to register for very serious reasons. One of such reasons that there's problem of network in Yokana. Oh, I'm telling you, in Yokana, during the registration, people are coming that they want to register. There is no network in the INEC machine.
So that's a very serious case, that's a big allegation that INEC would have to answer to.
I am telling you that is one of the problems. Two, another problem is that the machine that they are using are not enough for them to capture the people. Take, for instance, you just allude to it that Nyokana we have the highest turnout of people in terms of population. And then you are coming to my ward, okay, you are coming to my village, and maybe I have 10 units. And then you are coming with Shegun with one machine. And you go to that unit, and stay there, let's say from 10 o'clock, and then by 12 o'clock, you are gone. One, there's no battery, or the network is not working, and power. So we cannot say completely that the people have said they have refused to come to do registration. But what we have to do as a people is to tell them that, see, you have to come for registration. And again, a lot of them think that, oh, they need to get money for the registration. So INEC lack shortage of manpower.
Your Highness, we'll come to that because we just have a lot of text messages and we have about 5 minutes on this particular segment. I have this one coming from Foster. Foster Carey said, good morning, Pastor Segun and Dr. Swanu. There is also chieftaincy title in Babe Kingdom over Benemene of Babes too, but the traditional institution failed in their leadership to intervene between the people of Luawi in Kapo and Luawi people coronated someone traditionally awaiting recognition of government, but the paramount ruler of Kapo, I believe, community, Monday Noya, keep parading himself as king, and that's why Governor of Rivers State invoked his certificate of recognition. Monday Noya isn't the right person to be on that stool of King Babe, and the right person, according to him, is King Dobe Nanabo. Well, I don't know about that fact. Please, the state government should help bring an end to this tussle that has been for almost a decade now. Another one, Barry Swa Saro. Good morning, Pastor Segun, and to your guest in the studio. The issue of insecurity in Kana local government, especially in Yokana, is beyond the local government, Honorable Bernadette Thomas, to handle. We are pleading with His Excellency, the Executive Governor of the state, to come to the aid of Yokana Kingdom by providing accurate security. And again, is that correct? I want you to answer that. And we also have another one, Melu Barry Digbo. Good morning, Pastor Segun. When my king, Dr. Swanu Badan, said the police in Bori have overstayed, I personally agree with him. And that's another one. And we have this one, Gerebo Monima Berak. Good morning, Pastor Segun, your guest in the studio. I think court-related issue is criminal case, and the issue that is handled by the state, expecting members of the family of victim to come and to court to give testament, is not the best. Police and security agents should do a thorough investigation and prosecute anyone arrested. Of course, I've read Sam Clef, and thank God, ability at Tuegbu, Segun, top of the morning. It is no longer news that some traditional rulers in River State are sponsoring these court groups, their various domains, because these court groups are the one guarding their traditional rulers. Imagine where traditional ruler appoint a courtist as chief security officer of the community, then what do you expect to happen in such a community? Another one, Prince Neka Windag. Well, I think we've talked about Prince Neka Windag. And Luazo Delight. Good morning, Pastor Segun and the guest. The issue of insecurity is something everyone should be involved, from parents, youth, traditional churches, etc. Many of them are benefiting from the action. So many sabotage and protest of fighting crimes. If they're not fished out, it will remain very hard to tackle in this country. And so many messages coming in. But again, one that I'm very particular about is that comment that said, well, the issue in Yokana is too big for the chairman to handle. Perhaps we need to appeal to the state government.
That is not true. The chairman of Kana local government took oath of office to protect life and property of the entire of Kana.
But would you think it needs some support?
I'm coming, sir. Which involved Kana. And the chairman is doing everything humanly possible. And if the chairman feels that this power, or the issue of insecurity in Yonkana is more than him, he knows what to do. So I don't want to agree on that. And so let me also talk about the issue of Benin of Babe. I think the person is making a very big mistake, because the king of Babe has been installed and recognized by government. And if it has anything to do with it, maybe it's not in support of that, the best option you should have to do is to go to court. There's a king that is there, and we cannot discuss about that. I think that, which other one did they talk about there?
Well, again, many of them are appointing courtists as chief security officers in their domain. Many traditional.
Yeah, okay. Segun, one of the things I've done in Banga, I may have been wrong one way or the other, because I also found out that some of the youth leaders that was appointed, because we try to not to allow the issue of election when it has to do with the youth leader of Banga. We tried not to, because we find out that they come together and elect a particular court person to lead. And so because of that, we avoid that. And have done that one or two times. One or two of them find out that they are courtists. When we find out, we remove them. But the president, youth leader of Banga, is not a courtist. He's one of the people who has been fighting to ensure that we have a security situation well balanced in that area. And he's not a courtist, and I cannot appoint any courtist to be chief security officer in any area. I cannot do that.
Your Highness, we just have 60 seconds more. And in 60 seconds, I would want you to address your people, particularly those in your domain where you have your rulership over.
Well, Shegun, I think I have to say this.
Yes.
And I'll point it out straight to them. One, to tackle the security problem challenges in Ogoni, not only the issue of Yorkana, is that every sector must plan to strengthen the operation capability of intelligence gathering opportunities. Because one, if you don't get opportunity or the intelligent gathering of the issue of the security that is going on, you cannot give it out. Another thing that we must have comprehensive, sustainable plan to avert pre-election, post-election crisis in Ogoniland and in River State, especially in Senatorial District of Southeast Senatorial District and Yonkana. Okay? And we must also deliberately make all stakeholders to rehabilitate families whose livelihood has been disturbed by insecurity. These are just three things that we have to do in order to ensure that we have security challenges are completely rid of from the area. That is what we have to do.
Well, thank you so much, Your Royal Majesty Suanu Baradam, for coming to the studio this morning to talk to us, and we quite appreciate you accepting our invitation. Thank you so much, Your Royal Majesty.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We'll be going on a short break. When we come back from the short break, we'll be having joining us His Excellency, former Nigerian Ambassador to the Netherlands, Ambassador Ojingofa. We'll be having a one-on-one talk with Ambassador Ojingofa. We'll be looking at development in River State, the politics of the APC, and also his ambition to contest for River Southeast Senatorial District in the 2023 election. Stay with us. Point Blank. We'll be back shortly.